In this chapter, we've explored the fundamental principles of reward management, emphasizing the effort-reward bargain and the diverse factors that shape this dynamic relationship. However, if we are to truly understand the complexities of reward management and its impact on employee behaviour and organisational performance, we need to delve deeper into the concept of systems thinking. Our argument is that reward systems are not isolated entities, but interconnected parts of a larger system. This system is influenced by a multitude of forces ranging from corporate strategy and managerial orientations to economic markets, legal regulations, and broader societal trends. By adopting a systems perspective, we can move beyond simplistic linear models of reward management and embrace a more holistic, dynamic view of the factors influencing employee motivation and engagement. This approach is particularly relevant in today's complex and interconnected world, where the boundaries between organisations and their external environments are increasingly blurred. So let's hand over to explore the key tenets of systems thinking and examine how this perspective can help us understand the interplay of internal and external forces shaping reward management practices.
Thanks for the handoff. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of systems theory and its use in analysing employee compensation or reward management. We're going to start with the seminal work of Ludwig von Bertalanffy. He was quite the thinker. Von Bertalanffy introduced systems theory back in the 1940s. He was all about understanding complex organisms by seeing them as systems, interconnected and interdependent. But here's the kicker. He didn't just stop at biology. He broadened it to a general systems approach, which means we can apply it to virtually anything. And that's where things get really interesting for us in the business world. Think about an organization as a system. It's not just a bunch of separate departments doing their own thing. It's a complex, interconnected whole, where each part affects the others. This holistic view is crucial for effective management. Now let's zoom in on human resource management. Specifically, let's talk about employee compensation. Traditional approaches often look at compensation in isolation, but systems theory encourages us to see it as part of a bigger picture. If you only focus, say, on salaries without considering how they interact with employee performance, job satisfaction, and turnover, you're missing out on the full story. Systems theory helps us understand those interconnections. Let's break it down. When you align compensation with performance management, training, development, and organizational culture, you create a cohesive system. Properly done, this ensures that employees feel valued and motivated, which ultimately drives better performance and reduces unplanned resignations. And here's where you, reward management students, come in. Think about your own organization or one you're studying. How are compensation systems structured? Are they considering the whole system or just isolated parts? What changes could be made to create a more integrated approach? Start by mapping out the different elements of your HRM system. Identify how compensation interacts with other components like job design, performance appraisals, and team engagement. Then, look for ways to improve those connections. By adopting a systems perspective, you can design compensation plans that not only attract top talent, but also retain and engage these people to meet corporate priorities over the longer term. It's about creating a balanced ecosystem where every part supports the others. So, how will you apply systems theory to revolutionize employee compensation in your organization? Let's start a conversation. Thanks for watching, and now back over to Prof. SJP.
So, systems thinking sounds like a valuable approach, but as developing compensation professionals, you need also to consider the criticisms of the approach and the potential challenges in applying it to the real-world complexities of the modern workplace. In our chapter, we highlight a number of criticisms of systems thinking and responses to them. Reductionism. A criticism of systems thinking is that it can lead to a reductionist approach to understanding complex phenomena, where systems are broken down into simpler elements for analysis, potentially neglecting the holistic and interconnected nature of the system. The response then is that in the chapter we acknowledge this concern, emphasising the importance of considering the holistic and interaction of parts within a system rather than simply focusing on isolated elements. A second criticism is overemphasis on systems. Systems thinking may be criticised for overemphasising the role of systems in shaping behaviour, potentially neglecting the role of individual agency and action. The response to this critique is to emphasise that while management may have a dispositional advantage in framing the effort-reward bargain, the position remains indeterminate, implying that individuals have a role in shaping the system. Another criticism is that systems thinking represents a conservative ideology, potentially lacking the capacity adequately to deal with conflict and change in social life. In response, the chapter acknowledges this, but suggests that system thinking can account for conflict and change through its focus on the interrelation and interdependence of systems. It also emphasises the role of feedback loops in driving adaptation and change within systems.